Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our public webinar hosted by IQ Academy. My name is Joel Maniaki, and I am joined by my two colleagues, Amy and Annalise. And we are privileged to have Marené Woensdregt to guide us and help us with our finances, more especially for some of us that have not survived Black Friday. Sometimes things are real tempting, and it's just bad situation sometimes where you're in the minus and it falls into December, and then December falls into January. So yeah, we really need the help, or I specifically need the help. But we are very grateful for you to be here, and we're grateful just to empower and equip all of you. And just a few house rules before Marené starts her lecture, experience with us. We ask that everyone mute their mics, at least for the session. There will be a Q&A session afterwards for about 10 minutes, depending on when it stops. And another disclaimer, this is a public webinar. It will be posted on YouTube. Therefore, if you bring up any personal examples, just know that your neighbor might know about your business because they may find this on YouTube later. So please keep your questions as a general example and not a personalized example. And please interact with us in the chat. We'd love to know where you're based and if you're a student with us. But we have a combination of students of IQ Academy and non-students. But enough of my talking. Marené, please introduce yourself, and yes, please start with the information sharing. We can't wait to learn about good habits, good financial habits. They may hurt us, but it's good for us moving forward. So please take it away.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you for having me on this webinar. I am Marené Woensdregt. I'm a professional accountant of South Africa, and I work for a company called Ginger Outdoor Advertising as an accountant. Today, we are going to have specifically a look at smart seasonal spending. So surviving the festive season and some January money management tips. So what does this all mean? Spending your money smart during the festive season. So the festive season is on us. It's December, it's Christmas and New Year's. And then also we have January coming. So some of the things we are going to look at today in detail is setting a disciplined December budget that factors in January's upcoming expenses, using cash to curb impulse spending, choosing affordable options for gifts, tips to avoid post-holiday debt, and the cash crisis in January. So let's look at the December budget. Create a detailed budget early. List all potential expenses, including gifts, travel, food, decorations, and entertainment. Now, these are all expenses that's applicable to this festive season. You won't normally have Christmas decorations that you're buying throughout the year. So you have to have all these expenses that you're planning for this season in your budget. Review last year's spending to identify areas for improvement. So how we set up a budget is we take the actuals of the previous year and we plan on work from that. So how a budget looks like, you have income. This is just an example I got from the internet. You have your income, then you have all the things where your income is going to, your expenses. You maybe have savings, you have monthly bills and debt that you have to repay. So let's look at an example in detail, specifically for this December time. Let's say student A So student A has a salary of 25,000 Rand. She is working an admin position, and that is what she gets monthly for a salary. Then she's planning on selling some of her clothes for extra income, just to make it through this December season. So that's the extra 500 Rand she's budgeting. Then she has a retirement annuity of 2,500 Rand, which is her savings to retire in the future without working. Then she has a rent of 10,000 Rand. These are her monthly bills that she receives. Wi-Fi of 500 Rand, electricity of 1,000 Rand, and she's studying at IQ Academy, so she has the education bill of 2,000 Rand a month. Then her cell phone contract is 500 Rand a month, and she has a car where she pays off 5,000 Rand a month. So these are the debt that she has. Then expenses, gifts. This is now a seasonal expense. She only budgeted 1,000 Rand for gifts. Travel, she budgeted 4,000 Rand because she's planning on traveling to her family for the holiday. Usually she won't have this much travel, but this is now the travel. Then food is 3,000 Rand. And then we have to total everything. So the income is then 30,000 Rand. Your savings is 2,500. Your bills adds up to 13,500 Rand. The debt is 5,500 and the expenses 8,000 Rand. So in the block underneath, you see there's a summary. So this is what the budget is all about. It's about taking your income and deducting all the things you have to pay with it, and seeing that you have a positive total and not a negative total. So we just put all the totals in the budget column of the summary, and then we get to a total of 500. So this is student A's budget for the December holidays and January, the season. So she's budgeting, she'll be left over with 500 Rand. It's very good to have a budget with a few rands left, just to make sure you have some extra cash for that unplanned expenses. So we'll come back to this now. Then December salaries are often paid early. So immediately set aside funds required for January necessities like your rent or your bond payments, your education fees, your utilities, which is like your water and your electricity that you have to pay each month. Any debt repayment you have, just put it in a separate account to avoid accidentally spending that money during the holidays. So this is a great tip. If you receive that money and you know what you have to pay, put it in a separate account. It's also part of the budget that you are doing. Then track spending in real time. A budget just works if you stick to it. So, and you can only stick to it if you know what you're spending. So regularly check your bank statements or use a budget planner to monitor your spending and adjust as needed. But let's just go back to this budget planner. So in the blue, you can see I added stationery there as expense under actual. So students, I totally forgot to budget for the New Year stationery that you need in order to study. So all the other expenses were in line with the actuals, but this was the extra one she didn't plan on. So a total of the expenses added up to 8,400 Rand instead of 8,000 Rand. If we took the actuals, then compared to the budget, because this is what a budget is all about, this summary. So if we take the actuals compared to the budget, we have the 8,400 Rand difference in expenses, and then you have a total left of 100 Rand. So next year, when she's preparing a budget for the Christmas season or whatever, then she will know she must put in stationery. Yes, so this is what a budget is all about, and you can use a budget planner like this, which is one you can print, or you can just write on a piece of paper, or there's really nice budgeting apps. Here are some that's listed from FinCheck Academy. They say that these are the best 5 budgeting apps. So you can have a look on that if you like working on apps rather than like on a pen and paper with a pen and paper. Then also your banking apps have tracking tools. So I know FNB, Standard Bank, and Nedbank has very, very nice tracking tools that as you spend the money and you've set a limit, they will let you know, okay, you are really close to your limit or you are going over your limit or whatever. So that's also something you can use. I usually say we must use technology to our advantage and to help us make life easier. So these are some of those tools you can use, technology tools you can use. Then we look at cash or card. Budgeting is not hard. Use cash or debit. Using a debit card with the exclamation here on debit or cash instead of a credit can help curb impulse purchases and prevent accumulating debt that you'll struggle to pay off in the new year. So it is very interesting, but credit card and short-term loans have the highest interest rates of the products out there. Interest rates of credit cards are personalized based on your credit risk profile, which usually differentiates between 11.75% to 22.25% per annum. So if you buy something with that means more or less, if you buy something with your credit card, 1,000 Rand, then and your interest rate is 12%, for example, then you pay actually 1,120 Rand for that item that you have to pay off. Also, if you don't pay that off immediately, it accumulates. Your interest accumulates on your balance. So credit is very, very risky because also when you pay with a debit or cash, the money feels real. So you know how much money you have and you pay with that. So that's a big tip. Then let's look at some tips to financially survive the Christmas and New Year, especially like the seasonal spending. Set the spending limit for each person. So in our budget example, student A had a budget of 1,000 Rand for gifts. So say there's 5 people she wants to buy gifts for this Christmas. She then has to divide the 1,000 Rand between the 5 people. That gives you 200 Rand per person that she set the limit for spending. Otherwise, if she wants to buy a more expensive gift, example for a mother, a 300 Rand gift, then she has to divide 100 Rand from someone else. So that the whole gifts limit that you set for each person is also still in the budget, your overall budget that you set up. You can also consider a secret Santa or gift exchange to reduce the number of gifts you need to buy. So the student A only has a 1,000 Rand budget. Then she says, no, okay, I'm going to talk to the rest of the friends and family I want to buy gifts for, and let's do a secret Santa. So you draw someone else's name and they buy for you and you buy for whoever whose name you've drawn. I know a lot of companies or friendship groups do this, and it's very nice. You send out a list of all the things you maybe want and the limit you can spend on it, and then you receive a gift for Christmas. Then you can also explore thoughtful, low-cost options like homemade gifts, baked goods, or a personalized photo album. these are more sentimental to the person you are giving the gift to, and they don't really cost that much money. Then also look for sales and promotions to spread the cost and avoid peak season surges. Joel also mentioned Black Friday, so that's a good time. There are a lot of good sales on Black Friday, and if you know what you want to buy that person, and it's within your budget, and there's a sale on it, well, go for it. It's better to buy it like on that sale rather than the day before Christmas, because then they're gonna put everything up again. All the prices are gonna go up. You can also look for promotions like buy two get one free if you have something of the same you want to buy for someone. So those are like the type of sales and promotions you can look for and not buy the day before Christmas. When hosting, suggest a bring and buy or potluck style meal where guests contribute to a dish or drinks, which can significantly reduce the financial strain on you. So that's normally a bring and buy, or if you have a Christmas lunch, let everyone bring a dish, someone bring the decorations, everyone brings their own drinks. That usually just is the way to go, to not spend all your money on one hosting evening. Then plan free or inexpensive activities like a picnic, a hike, or a movie night at home to make memories during the holidays. So this is what the festive season is about. It's about spending time with our loved ones, taking some time off, and just enjoying each other and resting and all those stuff. So you don't have to spend money to spend time with your loved ones. You can even look what's going on in your local area. Maybe there's a nice Christmas market that you can go to just to go and spend some time together. So yes, that's also an option. Then create a Christmas savings fund months before. This is also a very, very good idea. If you start saving in July, just 200 Rand a month, then by December you have 1,200 Rand to buy gifts or whatever you want to spend it on. So it is also good to start saving if you know you want to spend a lot of money during the festive season. I know some of the banks have very nice saving accounts, and it's very easy to set up. So you can even call it Christmas savings, and then you don't touch that money. Then plan and book early. If you plan to travel, book flights and accommodation in advance to secure better prices and avoid last-minute costs and stress. So it is recommended that you buy flight tickets 1 to 3 months in advance. They say that is the best time for the best prices because of the supply and the demand and the strategies of the airlines. So it is better to book early and not later, as your cost will be more. And most of us wants to travel during this time. Then let's look at some January money management tips. Immediately transfer funds or fix January expenses, example, your school supplies, your bills, your debt repayments, into a separate account when you receive your December salary to prevent accidental spending. So we said this also before, just transfer that money when you receive your December salary, and then you don't see it's out of your way, but you know you have budgeted for it. Then resist the urge to shop post-holiday sales, which can lead to unnecessary purchases and a deeper financial hole. So only spend on what you need and what you budgeted for. If you don't need it in January, don't buy it. Because you probably won't have the money for it if you didn't even budget. This is just the tips. Resist the urge to shop post-holiday sales. Plan meals around existing pantry items and leftovers to reduce grocery bills. So you will have already some stuff in your pantry, some groceries. So be creative and make big dinners to also eat lunch of the leftovers. That is also a money management tip to not buy groceries the whole time. Resist the temptation to use credit cards or take out short-term loans to cover expenses, as high interest rates can lead to a debt cycle. So this is also just, again, with the credit cards. And also, like I said, the short-term loans, it is very high interest. And no one wants to go in debt counseling, guys. It's a tricky one to get out of. So rather stay away from those things. If you know you have that temptation to buy stuff on credit, rather stay away. Then generate extra cash by selling items you no longer need. So also, as we looked out in our budget, student A is planning on selling some clothes. It's really easy these days to sell stuff. You have platforms like Facebook Marketplace, Yaga. You can go to your secondhand shops in your local area. There's really enough resources and channels out there to sell stuff you no longer need. I would also recommend to start selling it already in November or when on payday December, because obviously January people will not really buy stuff they don't need. So rather sell it before the holidays so that you have that money and you know people also have money to buy your items. Then explore cost-saving methods like carpooling with co-workers, creating homemade cleaning products, cooking larger portion for dinner and use leftover for lunch. That is also, like I said, also if you have people in the same area driving to the work, to your work, you can drive together. Then you save money on petrol for that week or month. And yeah. Then the biggest smart spending tip I have, and this is for the festive season or throughout the year, just whenever. This is the biggest one. Compare prices across different stores. That's one. So we have all these stores, all these different grocery stores. We have there's a lot of stores, and if you go on the internet and you search what you want and you search the store, you will find the prices probably, and then you search another. It is a bit of admin. You can also look into your newspapers. There's sometimes leaflets of the things they advertise that you can also compare the prices with, and then also utilize the loyalty programs. We're talking about extra savings because by Smart Shopper. As far as the rewards programs, you have the Clicks Club card. This scheme has the benefits program. So there's all these loyalty programs, and it's really not that difficult to sign up to them. So that is also a very good tip to utilize them. Have all those cards in your pocket, or even these days you can just show your app with a card on, so you don't even have to or even the photo of the card. You don't have to carry the card physically around to get these loyalty program benefits. And then saving campaigns to save and stress the budget. I have here especially examples from IQ Academy. Settle and save. I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to go through some of them. Students who settle outstanding balance of of 3,000 Rand and more can receive a free short course valued up to 10,000 Rand. Some more examples of saving campaigns. Engage and win. By sending a selfie while studying, students stand a chance to win a free short course or have one monthly repayment reduced. Then you also have, they have seasonal discounts. Certain months, students enrolling can get 10% off selected higher certificate programs. Some more examples. Participating in the on-site question and answer session on the content creation day and students a free short course or cash. Some alumni benefits. Some past students can access 50% off short courses and 30% off higher certificates. So these are all just saving campaigns to stretch the budget and make your education financially more manageable. So these are also stuff you can look at. Then usually this time of the year we have advent calendars. So here is a tips to save money this Christmas advent calendars. 25 tips to save money until Christmas. Develop a gift giving philosophy. Budget. That's very important. Track your spending. That's also part of the budget process. Track what what you are paying, what you're giving out. Rein in other spending. Choose time over money. As I said, that's what the festive season about, resting and spending some time with your loved ones. Shop early. You see, shop early. Give fewer gifts. Resist retail marketing. So these marketing of the retail marketing is very good sometimes. So they just lure you in and you want to buy it. Then use old gift cards. There's no problem in that. Order online early and combine your orders. 12, live by the list. 13, say no to random gift exchanges. Only give the gifts you budgeted for and you planned on giving the people. The limits that you set, remember? Go in on a group gift. 15 is also re-gift. So maybe you have unwanted gifts that's lying around to re-gift. There's no problem with that. You can make it even package it very nice again for the people and re-gift it. Make presents. That is also a cost saving tip. Rather than buying something, making something. Sell your stuff, as we also looked at. Make more money. See where you can, how you can make more money. Maybe there's some or other thing you can make to sell, so make more money. Spend less on traditions, so don't spend money. Get thrifty with stocking stuffers. Donate to charity. Have a virtual party. That will also be a saving tip because then obviously virtual you don't have that much snacks. Don't shop at the mall. Wrap gifts creatively. Be a sentimental spender. Buy sentimental gifts. Okay. Then I've went very fast through this thing. I also just want to make with the budgeting, I just also want to mention, if you want to know more about budgeting, there's also another webinar, Master Your Money, with Darren Deeplel on IQ Academy's website. He also goes into a very, very in-depth with that budgeting thing. Then I just want to quote this Capitec article that I read about Black Friday inside SA's biggest spend week. From the strategic bulk buying of Black Friday to the high-frequency restocking of January, South Africans are not just spending, they are actively managing their money to make it through each season. For retailers, the learning is clear. Value is the only metric that matters, whether it's a luxury purchase in November or a loaf of bread in January. So from this, we can see that that they say South Africans are actively managing their money. So that is what I wish for you this festive season, is for you to actively manage your money and not just spend and think everything is going to be okay. If you have an income, that is what you can spend, and that do it with the budget. That's these money management tips.
Okay, thank you so much, Marené, for the session. It was so lovely, though that budget word kept hurting me every time you mentioned it. But very grateful that you mentioned it. And now for the next part of our session, this is the Q&A session where we allow you as the attendees to ask any questions that you have. I do, however, need to mention that please try your best to not make it personal examples, because this is a public webinar and your neighbors, those you care about, will know about your business, because this will go on YouTube. And for those that are shy to ask a question or to raise their hands, you can always ask the question in the chat and we will pose the question to Marené. So the floor is open for any questions, but please raise your hand first. And then when I mention your name, you may unmute and ask your question. And if there's no question, I'll just want to ask one just to open the floor. So, Marené, we now see a number of companies, and specifically buy now, pay later companies. Do you suggest that we go and open accounts with them? Because it's always tempting that we can purchase things in December over 3 payments or more.
So sorry, your question is buy now, pay later.
Yes, so that is like pay flex.
It depends on the fine print with that buy later. If the interest rates are very high, you have to decide if it's worth it. You know, you have to decide if that interest, what you're paying at the end of that buy later program is what you would have paid if you had the money.
Okay.
So that is what I would say. You must just check if what is the fine print of that buy later. If the interest is too high and it's triple or quadruple the price you would have paid at the end of it, I would rather say this time. Receive the money first. I also just want to say that we talked about the savings, but you must always consider that a 50% save is a 50% spend. So if it's something you really need, then it's a savings. But if it's not it's a luxury item that you don't need, then it's you're actually spending that money that you don't need. 50% spend.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So Gladys had her hand up. I assume that Marené answered her question. And yes, Gladys, you're unmuted.
Oh, hi, yeah. Thank you, guys. So I was actually recommending or wanted to hear your view. What do you think about Pay Just Now? Because it also allows you to take now, you pay like a portion, and then they give you like few months to make the rest of the payments. There is no interest though. What's your thoughts on that one?
If there's no interest, then it is then you can go for it. If there's no hidden cost, you see, then I don't see why you can't pay it later if it suits your budget like that. So you must just check any interest or hidden costs. You know, what's the catch? But if there's nothing, if there's no interest, and if it's not going to have you out of pocket, then I don't see why you can't take it.
So I hear, Marené, that with the companies, the buy now, pay later companies, that if you miss a payment, they have high interest. So if
Yes.
that's true, then obviously that's a fine print that everyone needs to
Yes.
be aware of.
Yes. Yes. I don't know the detail of all these programs that's out there, but I think the rule to go by is to just read the fine print, see what are you going to pay later, and if it is the same or more or less the same to the value that you are that you want to pay now or you can pay now, then I don't see a problem with that.
Okay. Now we have two questions in the chat from Simpiwe. I'll start with the first. It's what's a smart way to set spending limits for family and friends?
Smart way to
Yeah.
set spending limits for family and friends. Um, and, so are you talking about your own spending limit?
Yeah, so
I think so. The spending that you want to do.
yes.
Well, it depends on how, like I said, it depends on how much you budget for your overall gifts or spending for your family and friends. That depends. So a smart way is to check how much money do you have to spend on your family and friends, and then decide how much you want to spend on your mother, for example, or on your friend. And then if it's in your budget, if it's not in your budget, you have to um, get it a bit lower, or if it's underneath your budget and you want to spend more, you can go higher. But the tip is to just check the overall budget and divide it by what you want to, who you need to spend on,
Okay. And their second question is how can they review their spending to prepare better for the next year?
So if you have an account at a bank, you have bank statements. You receive your bank statements. So you can go on your banking app or online and you can get your bank statements. And from that, you can review what you spend on what. So you can make like big categories, like groceries or like I said, gifts, travel, make categories like that and review your whole bank statement and allocate each transaction to that category. And then you can see what you spent on everything this year and set up a budget in accordance for next year.
Okay. And you also mentioned the apps that can also help us with budgeting.
So that's also a big thing. You can import your bank statements into these apps, and they can do that categorizing for you also.
Okay. And from what I remember, I only thought of two that I recognized there. There were 22/7 and Pocket Smith, but I believe there were a few more that you
Yes, we
brought
can
out.
just go back to that slide also for you.
Yes, please.
Then you can just, sorry, if I went through it too quickly, I'm very sorry. But I like these questions. Yeah, so they all these apps, Pocketsmith, 22/7, Bucksper, Spendy, and Money Lover. I think I've used 22/7 a bit, but you have to play with it around and see if it works for you. My personal favorite is the tracking tools we have on our banking apps. That is my personal favorite because as you spend, it already sets it to a category, and it gives you a notification on your banking app that you are near your limit, that you set the budget for. So that is my personal favorite.
Thank you. And I see that Tandekile had a question. Maybe she got shy. If you still have a question, and you don't want to unmute, you can obviously still ask your question in the chat, but now you've unmuted.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to highlight what Maureen said earlier on. Yesterday, when I was on my Standard Bank app, they actually did like a yearly recap of everything that I've done throughout the year. So I found that tool very cool, and I went on social media and I saw that, oh, actually they also like published it on social media for you to have a recap in order for you to actually do better in the new year. So what she said regarding transport, anything, petrol, anything, insurance, your fixed debit orders, extra money you got, it actually calculates what you got from the beginning of the year till now in salary, extra funds. Like, I found it very beautiful. So I think the banks are also moving towards us actually being smarter in terms of our finances.
Yes. Yes, no, thank you. Let's see.
Thank you for that. And just as a disclaimer, we are not advertising any
No,
banks.
thank you.
100%. I'm so sorry. Next time I'll use the blue bank.
No, it's all good. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And we have a question in the chat from Jabulile, and it's, does these buy now, pay later accounts affect one's credit score?
So using a Pay Just Now service like that, Pay Just Now does not affect your credit score initially, as their sign-up involves a soft check, not a hard credit pull. But
Okay.
the thing comes when you make a late payment or you skip your payment. Then it can negatively impact your credit score. So if you just keep on paying, then it won't. But if you do pay late, you must just check if it can have a negative impact on your credit score.
Now, Marené, there was a strategy shared once that I saw online, and it said that when you get your December paycheck, obviously it will be early, well, early for some, that you send that immediately to your savings. What are your thoughts around that?
Yes, that's what also was also part of the webinar, that if you receive your December salary, it's the best to just put those January expenses into another account. And that's what I also said. It's in some of these banking apps, it's very easy to set up a savings account, and you can call it January savings even, so that you know what it is and that you don't touch it during December. So it is one of the things to do, is to just take the money out of your current account, which you use to spend on everything, and just put it in a savings account.
Now, the floor is still open, guys. If you have any more questions pertaining to financial literacy, how to plan for next year, being ready for next year, the floor is still open. Yeah, thank you, Simpirat, for your comment in the chat. And for me, I am grateful for this because I never thought to have a strategy. It almost sounds bad, but to indirectly rank my family members financially. So it's
yeah, it sounds bad, but that is a spending strategy. If you just have a certain amount to spend on gifts, it's rather just safer to divide and set the limit on each person.
okay. And just without giving too many personal examples, just because you are the subject matter expert here, what are your top priorities when it comes to spending in December?
Well, obviously the bills that needs to be paid first, and then I didn't touch this topic because I know we all live in South Africa and everything, but some people do get bonuses still in December, and if you receive a bonus, you also have to strategize that. For example, I will look at at my education fees that I need to pay for the year. Sometimes when you pay a one set, like a lump sum before the year, then they give you discount for the rest of the year. So if you have some cash, extra cash coming in December, it's good to look at those things also, like I know kids' school fees. The schools have a program where you can pay for the year, the lump sum, and then you get some discount, and you don't have to pay your 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever it costs each month. So that is also something I look at. And then also, you just need to know to buy necessities. You need to know you have this money, this income, and you have to spend it on food, on electricity, on the things you spend it through for the rest of the year, and then budget for your travel and your gifts and everything that's just part of this season.
So I'm going to ask a question for the quiet person in this room that is saying, I worked really hard this year and I deserve that Gucci bag, that Air Force One. Technically, that it doesn't count as a necessity, but to that individual, that's a necessity. They worked hard during the year. So how would one navigate that understanding?
If you really want that Gucci bag, and that is for you a necessity, then you must just play around with your budget. So see where you can, like I said, what can you sell maybe to receive income to get that thing, or if there's nothing you can sell and you just have your salary, see where you can cut a bit. Maybe if you just buy, if you just live off bread and don't buy the margarine, you can maybe put all those margarine money together and buy the Gucci bag for you. So it's a give and take. If you want something that you have to budget for, or you don't have money for, you have to take money off something that you have money for.
Okay. Thank you for that. And we have a question here. It's just apologies. I am too scared to attempt your name, but your surname is Isaacs in the chat. So it's quite detailed, and I would personally say it's a deep question. So it says, or rather they're asking, how do you plan your finances when you're blacklisted with your credit?
Yes, this is not actually blacklisted is not actually a topic I am very have knowledge about. How do you plan your finances when you blacklisted with your credit? So I don't know that law status about where your credit is scrapped after 3 years. I don't have too much knowledge about that, but I would just say whether you're blacklisted or not, use the money that you have. You see, if you only receive 20,000 Rand a month, then only use 20,000 Rand a month. If some of that money have to go to your debt, then you just can use the money that's left over. And try, I want to say try to be an entrepreneur or whatever, but try to sell stuff. That's just how I will make extra money. See how you can make extra money. Maybe at some of these Christmas markets, you can set up a stall and, go buy some stuff that you made, baked goods or whatever. So always try to find ways of getting more money if you want to spend more. That's it.
Thank you for that. And on that note, are there any strategies that you know of for debt repayment? So we even getting to a point of preventing getting to a point of blacklisting that you can name on top of your mind. Yeah, Marené, you still there?
Sorry, yes.
Yes. I think the question I asked is quite long because it spoke to strategies to pay back your debts and to get out of debt. But there is a nice one that I'm thinking about right now, and it's what is one financial habit that we should have going forward into the new year?
Sorry, just ask again. What is one financial habit?
Yes.
Well, budgeting is a financial habit. I will tell you that. And then also not using credit. Leave your credit card, rather pay all the debt you have of that credit card, and start fresh without any debt, and just spend what you have.
And because you're as human as we are, what is the one habit that you want to improve next year?
That exactly that.
Okay, so
Leave the credit card and just use the debit card or cash, the money that feels real.
mhm. Yeah, and though it is dangerous, there is one last strategy I'd like to bring up. It's a mention that you withdraw a certain amount of money and therefore you can see the money. So therefore you will know when you're broke, as opposed to when the money is in your bank account, you just keep spending because you don't know that you're broke. Do you believe that that is a relevant strategy?
I don't think I understand the question. But
Okay.
sorry, just
So,
reframe.
so it's almost as if I take a lump sum from my income, I withdraw it, and now with the cash, I spend it so that I definitely know when I don't have any money left versus when all the money is in my account,
Yes.
I go to zero and I go beyond
Yes.
zero.
Yes, that's also we like swiping the card. If we swipe the card, then we know we don't see the money. It's like you say. But that's why it is good to use cash. That's also a money strategy, but also the debit card. Not a lot of people use cash these days. It's not that safe to have a lot of cash at your stores. So it is more a way of swiping a card, but that's why I say leave the credit card and just use your debit card and check your balances. Review what's going on in your bank statement. It's better to know what's going on in your bank statement rather than not to know and find out you don't have money to pay this. Or so yes, cash will always be king, but you can also just use your debit card.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. This is the final call for any questions because we're nearing the end of our session. We don't want to eat into your dinner time, your cuddle time, your bonding with your kids time. So you all have about 30 seconds to ask any question in the chat or to raise your hand. Righty. Thank you so much for joining, everyone, and thank you so much, Marené, for your time and your effort to guide us and equip us to be better with our finances. And we will look back on the 1 hour we spent in December in 2025 and be grateful when we have excess money that's budgeted, and then we're able to purchase that Gucci without having to sacrifice margarine. So we can have the bread and the margarine. So thank you everyone for making time, and see you in our next webinar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Marené. I hope to have my bread, margarine, and my Gucci bag.
For those that haven't left yet, Keep an eye on our webinar page on the IQ Academy website. We host webinars twice a month. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, donkey.